Spiritual Life Center, transforming lives as we love, serve, and remember who we are. One heart, one mind, one soul.
Hello, we are Soul Light Connection. We are the core of the music ministry here at Spiritual Life Center. We're so glad that you've chosen to be with us today. And we want you to know your soul is welcome here.
That's right, you're in the right place at the right time, just where you are meant to be. Let's all sing about it. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh my soul is welcome. Oh my soul is welcome here. Oh my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning once again, and welcome to the Spiritual Life Center experience that we bring to you wherever you might be on the planet today. We're grateful for your presence as we remind one another that we are all interconnected. We are one in the Spirit, and we are in our second week of our Faith in Action program. And for those who may not be familiar with our program, it is a book series which we have every fall. And we have weekly talks based upon the book, as well as meditations that are based upon a chapter of that book. This year's book is The Universe is Calling, and is written by Unity Minister Eric Butterworth. And in addition to each week, we have artists who present visual representations of the topic for the Sunday talk and for the weekly small group meetings that take place. We also have an original song for the Faith in Action series that is written by and produced by our Director of Music and Arts, that's Paula Mandella, and the music team. And we also have an accompanying video that goes along with it. And as you will hear, this year's song is I Am That I Am. Well, as I noted last week, we have people across the planet who view our services. And from time to time, I want to acknowledge at least one of those places outside of the United States who are tuning in to our program. And today I'd like to acknowledge our friends that are in the country of India. We have a number of folks in India that listen to us weekly. And so we want to thank you for connecting with us and know that you are blessed and a blessing to this planet. At this time, let us reaffirm our realization of our oneness with the Spirit of the living God as we commune with the divine and with each other for just a little bit of time. So we turn within and we affirm that we live and move and have our very beingness in this presence that we call God. We realize that we are one with this presence and that we live in an absolutely friendly universe. And as we remain open and receptive to this presence being expressed through and as us in every thought we have, every word that we speak, every action that we take, we radiate these qualities wherever we happen to be, and we anchor a little bit more of ever-expanding good, also known as heaven, in our world. We're grateful to be the instrumentalities of this presence. We're grateful to represent this presence in anything that we do and everywhere that we go. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, with that consciousness of gratitude and thanksgiving, I'd like to bring to us our 5 unity principles that we affirm each week in the event that someone wants to know what do we stand for as far as our spiritual principles. And the first is God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
If you are having a birthday, this song goes out to you. We want to wish you a very special SLC happy birthday. So everybody, join in and sing along. You ready? Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
This week on our Discovering Spirit Within podcast, I will chat with Frank Castro-Ware about how we can become grounded in spirit. We sometimes think that being spiritually connected means living in a floaty woo-woo world, which is fun, but the truth is that when we are properly grounded, we are much better conduits for spirit to work through us. Frank offers insights into the benefits of grounding. Discovering Spirit Within premieres each Wednesday on your favorite podcast app.
Hi, SLC. This is JG. As your chair of your Community Abundance team, I'm here with this month's board update. Our first event is today's fall celebration, which is now sold out. For those on the current wait list, you may receive a call as spots become available. If you're not pre-registered for this event, there will be other opportunities for fellowship. As you know, our theme is cultivating community, and there are 2 upcoming events to do just that. Next is our Zoom Masquerade Bingo on October 31st at 7 p.m. There'll be game, prizes, and fun to share with your family and friends. We can't wait to see what kind of costumes you conjure up. The last event in our fall series is our Light the World celebration on November 20th. So mark your calendar for this celebration of how SLC brings love and light to the entire world. We look forward to being with you.
We love to greet our newcomers. And while we cannot greet you in person, we want you to know that we are very happy that you are with us as you walk your unique path. You can learn more about us by going to slcworld.org/connect. And when you fill out the online card, you can choose to receive our weekly message, find opportunities for connecting with our prayer chaplains and online small groups, and also be notified of greater ways to connect with us virtually as we expand our online community. And speaking of connecting, you can find details for all of the happenings at SLC by simply going to our website, slcworld.org. Thank you for joining us today. We are honored to be with you in spirit.
I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am opening to infinite divinity ever within me. I am not alone. As the pull of the sun urges the blossom to come forth, I am that I am. As the ocean in a wave unceasing breaks upon the shore, I am that I am. As the archer bends the bow and gently lets the arrow go, I am that I am. As the beacon shining out from within the lighthouse glows, I am that I am. Oh, I am listening to the call of the universe, beckoning me to make my way home. I am as a sweet relenting emptiness fills me to the brim. I am that I am, as the ultimate ending from which we all begin. I am that I am. I am.
The name of my painting is Earth Mandella, and the title of the subject is A Gift of God, Prayer is Our Path. Prayer is a path that we take to live our journey of life on earth. At the highest northern point, the light of guidance shines through the waves of trial and tribulations. To the south, we are called to witness the emerging of new knowledge of powers possible to accomplish. To the east, we heal the wrongdoing to our planet and its people and choose a way of conscious living. And to the west, we are blessed with a gift of looking through the cosmos to recognize that we are truly beings of love and light and are one in cosmic existence.
Eric Butterworth expresses karma and the differences between the horizontal, linear expression of black and white living, where we reap what we sow, and the infinite color-filled vertical flow, the state of grace as expanded consciousness. In this piece, Maple Lane Ginger Jar Vessel, linear expression is represented by the reeded handle, straight, monochromatic, and solid. The graceful, color-filled leaves express the upward pull of the universe. Each leaf is pyro-engraved, relief carved, and painted in layers in a curving flow, ever seeking to lift us to the heights of our divine nature and highlight the luminous colors in our consciousness, expressing through infinite color, texture, and shape, where Eric Butterworth states, we are set free. He writes, "It is as real and inescapable as the force of gravity. The universe is calling. Are you listening?" And as an artist, I will add, are you listening in black and white or in Technicolor?
Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions. Weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom, we cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
Be still and know that I am God. 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 God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Therefore we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and all the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know be still, be still, be still.
As we move into meditation, I honor and dedicate this meditation to Eddie Van Halen, someone who brought much rock and roll fervor to my youth. Godspeed, Eddie. Honoring the preciousness of life, we come into stillness, knowing we are God. Each and every one of us, a beautiful expression of the divine. Becoming comfortable, we breathe and relax, softening into stillness. Our thoughts slowing, connecting with the great I am, the place within us that welcomes us home. Once again, we breathe, opening to all the blessings of this journey. As we breathe into this place of peace, we open our hearts into the infinite love that awaits, opening into the presence of God within. Here we explore our karmic wheel, the law of cause and effect, knowing our thoughts, our actions and intentions ripple out around us. So we notice, where is our heart dwelling? Are we sending out what we want to receive? For this is the place the universe will meet us. Do we want to meet on the corner of hatred and condemnation, or journey down the path of peace and love? Will we pick up the weight of fear or leave it behind to dissolve, no longer being fed by our thoughts or energy? Directing our attention instead, we choose to feed the light of hope. As we look with love, releasing old limiting thoughts, letting go of the judgments and hurts that hold us back, we remember our divine nature, moving forward as the light of love, living a more beautiful expression of our truth, showing up as the peace we desire, as the love and acceptance we seek. We set into motion the ripples of God's promise, knowing they reach far beyond what we can see, creating that which we wish to receive, realizing we are all expressions of God. This is why we were called to be the light of tolerance, of acceptance, community, and love. To be patient and kind, for this is where we want the universe to meet us, here in this place of peace and forgiveness. Stepping into our grace, honoring the activity of God within. Our grace is always here. This love is always waiting to unfold us in its presence and welcome us home. As we move into the silence, notice what is pulling on your heart, stepping into the grace that is offered. We feel the universe calling. Listen, your divine expression is calling in the silence. We are all expressions of God, beautiful and wondrous, each and every one of us, unique and precious, filled with grace just because we are. As we tap into the power of our thoughts and intentions, we focus on the things that are lovely and pure, those things that bring joy to our world. And Spirit reflects these blessings in all that surrounds us. And so it is. Namaste.
Whatever things are lovely, whatever things are pure, whatever things bring you joy, think on these things. Whatever you find hopeful, whatever you know to be true, savor these things deep in your heart, for that's what God expresses through you. We've all heard of the golden rule, call it karma or reciprocity. What we give out will come back to us. All I want is love coming back to me. Whatever things are lovely, whatever things are pure, whatever things bring you joy, think on these things. Whatever you find hopeful, whatever you know to be true, savor these things deep in your heart, for that's what God expresses through you. We've all heard of the golden rule, call it karma or reciprocity. What we give out will come back to us. All I want is love coming back to me. Whatever things are lovely, whatever things are pure, whatever things bring you joy, think on these things. Whatever you find hopeful, whatever you know to be true, savor these things deep in your heart, for that's what God expresses through you. Oh yeah, for that's what God expresses through me. It's true, for that's what God expresses through you.
Well, good morning once again. And welcome to our second week of our Faith in Action series, The Universe is Calling. You know, this theme, the universe calling us, is particularly relevant as we look at the challenges our country and our world is facing today. Because challenges are often a call from this grand universe that is telling us in so many words there is an opportunity for each one of us, all of us collectively, to go deeper into the infinite potential of the Spirit of the living God so we can express more of who and what we truly are. I would say nowadays the universe is banging and knocking and calling our name. We've got to answer. We've got to answer if we're going to create a world that indeed works for everyone. And we must put our faith in that goal. We must put our faith in action, so to speak. As I mentioned last week, that We have all the faith we're ever going to have. It is fully operational right now because we are directing our faith energy somewhere, and where we direct it is based upon the content of our consciousness. To remind you of something Eric Butterworth said is life is consciousness, and it's religion in 3 words. And so along that line, today's topic is a journey in consciousness. And consciousness is simply the total of our beliefs. Consciousness is the foundation of all our experiences. That's because our consciousness determines the thoughts we think, which in turn influence our emotional state. And those states determine actions that we take or don't take at times in our life. And our actions dictate our life experiences. This week we explore the concept of karma, also known as the law of cause and effect or the law of compensation. These terms are often used interchangeably, and although they're related, they're not exactly the same because karma can be changed. It is not fixed. It is not inevitable. It can be interrupted. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But we know that karma has been bandied around a lot the last couple of weeks. We're looking at the law of karma, the law of cause and effect, and heard that this law has been said in many different ways, in many different languages. We may have heard the phrase, as you give, so you get. What goes around comes around. The measure you give will be the measure that you will get back. In the Bible it says, you shall sow, so shall you sow, so shall you reap. Or simply, as some people say, karma is going to get you. All those statements reflect a fundamental principle of the universe that's reminding us that things don't just happen. They happen just. They happen according to the state and the vibration that is consistently held in our awareness. When I think of this concept of karma or cause and effect, I'm reminded of a story in the Bible about the unforgiving servant that's found in Matthew, I think the 18th chapter, 21st verse. And the disciple Peter came to the master teacher, Jesus, and he wanted to know how many times should he forgive someone who transgressed against him. How many times someone may have sinned against him, which means to miss the mark, someone who had wronged him. And he asked Jesus, well, should it be about 7 times? That sounds pretty good. And Jesus, nah, you got to forgive about 70 times 7. In other words, you have to forgive infinitely. And then Jesus told him a story about getting to that higher place of consciousness, getting to this higher place of good called heaven. And he tells him about a certain king who wanted to collect a debt from one of his servants. And the servant owed him, I would say, let's just say $1,000. But the servant couldn't pay. And because he couldn't pay, the king ordered that the servant be sold along with his wife and his children and everything that the servant owned. And according to the story, the servant fell down and knelt on his knees before the king and said, have patience with me, and I will repay you everything that I owe you. And the story says the king was moved by the servant's sincerity, that he felt compassion for him. And so he released him and forgave him of the debt. But the story goes on and says that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, his co-worker, so to speak, who owed him just $100. And he grabbed him by the throat and said, pay me what you owe. And so this fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, have patience with me, and I will repay you. But that first servant wouldn't have it. And he cast him into prison until he could pay him back all that he was due him, the $100. And so when all the other servants saw what was done, they were distressed by the hypocrisy. And so they came to the king and told him what was done. I guess they were snitches. And the king called him in and said to him, "You ungrateful servant, I forgave you all of your debt because you begged me. Shouldn't you also have mercy on your fellow servant, even as I have had mercy on you?" And the king was obviously upset. He was angry. And he turned that servant over to his tormentors until he could pay what was due the king. And the king said to him, "That's what the universe will do to you if you give out that kind of energy." Those are my words, my interpretation. But it says more clearly in Galatians, the 6th chapter and 7th verse, "Do not be deceived. The universe or God is not mocked. For whatever you reap, you shall sow." That's the law of cause and effect, the law of compensation in a nutshell. But this not only applies when things happen bad to a person. You know, a lot of times when something goes good or happens that's good to another person, we might say, he or she were lucky. They were just in the right place at the right time. But how did they get to the right place at the right time? They had to vibrate at that level to be where they were receiving that good. You know, I was thinking about my son now who's grown, but I still remember from time to time when he was young and we used to go to, a place where the little kids used to go called Chuck E. Cheese. I'm sure if you had kids or grandkids, you may know that place. They loved Chuck E. Cheese. And when we went there, there was a little girl that was also there. We didn't know her, but apparently had crossed paths with my son. And she realized that she didn't have any tokens that allow her to play on any of the games. And so Jalen gave him a few of his tokens, and we went about our business. And a few moments later, she came rushing back to Jalen with all of these tickets that she had won as a result of being part of the games, and just gave it back to him. And to me, that was an instant demonstration that whatever we give out comes back to us. Sometimes what we send out can come back to us right away. Sometimes it takes a while before it does, in fact, come back to us, but that's how the law works. What is initially set in motion as a cause eventually comes to harvest as an effect. As we sow, so shall we reap. So remember, whatever seed that we plant will one day come to flower. Our lives, all life, the whole universe, at any given moment is always rife with effects of causes previously set in motion. So we remember the thoughts that we think, the feelings that we radiate, the words that we speak, the actions that we take are causes that we set in motion and an eventual effect that will happen in our life. And of course, what we want to do is get in tune with the ever-expanding good of the presence, the ever-expanding good of the universe. And one way to avail ourselves to this good is through the law of compensation, the law of cause and effect, the law of karma. I remember once I received a call from someone who had heard about these teachings, had heard about me. He didn't know about much either, but what he said, I'm sick and tired of the work I'm doing, and every time I start sending out, resumes and going to interviews, things start falling apart at the last minute. And he was asking me, what's going on, as if I knew. But I thought about it for a moment. I said, well, you got to fully occupy where you are. You got to kind of go where you are working right now and give more than you're temporarily compensated for. And when you do that, you will put the universe in your debt. And as Ralph Waldo Emerson reminds us, that when you put the universe in your debt, the universe has to balance the sheet, has to balance the books, which means one of two things. The universe will either push you to another level of self-expression, or move you to another level of self-expression. This is principle. This is how it works. Either the space will expand or you'll expand beyond the space. So when you give more than you're temporarily receiving, the universe has to fulfill itself through you. Like I said, through either expanding the space or expanding you beyond the space. And we can set in motion a new cause. We can consciously choose these causes. Now, understand that sometimes we think that we're choosing, when in fact we're not. People think they're choosing, they're not. Interestingly, most people, maybe you not one of them necessarily, are reactors. They think they're making a free and independent choice. But many are living from the past experience, past hurt, past denials. And they're bringing those past experiences into the present moment, reacting to things of the world set in motion as an effect. They're not conscious of that effect. And they think they're acting independently, but they're merely reacting to circumstance. In order for their choice to be free, they have to do something, because without increasing their awareness of who and what they really are, they're not making a choice. And in order to truly choose, we have to be aware. Lack of awareness leads to reaction, to circumstance. It leads to reaction to historical perception or perspective or history. Perhaps you can think of an individual who's highly volatile, highly reactionary. Maybe you've been in that place from time to time. That whenever anything in the external world seems to not to be going according to the way they think it should, not going according to their plan, there's an adverse reaction. And they think they're choosing when in fact all they're doing is responding from the surface of who they are, from their surface awareness that is often based upon fear and doubt and worry, or a belief that God has stopped being in control of the universe. You and I must be conscious in order to make a true choice. And to the degree we pray for an increasing awareness of our oneness with the Spirit, we have a choice to respond to the deeper nature of our being, from a deeper realm of our prayer work. And regardless of what's going on, we can respond from that sense of eternity, that sense of being divinely guided from the moment we say and do the right thing. And when we do that, we watch as this universe, this eternity breaks into time for us. And when we have that, when we begin to respond from that space, healings happen. Revelations of the Spirit take place. Now, here's the thing about the law of cause and effect, or karma. While we do reap what we sow, not every thought and action we take comes back to haunt us. Thank goodness. Because karma is often interrupted by grace. You know, as Butler points out in a very short 4-page chapter of his book, that God's desire to express through you as you is so great that you never completely reap the harvest of error. You always reap more good than you sow. Grace is God's love in action. It is the universe working for you and me, even when we're working against ourselves. I can say from personal experience, as an individual who made every mistake a human being could possibly make, engaged in self-destructive addictions, and lived to talk about all of it, I want to let you know that grace is real. You know, when we may be doing our best to self-destruct, we may be doing it consciously or unconsciously. Grace, which is the universe's love in action, is always seeking to fulfill itself and all its qualities in you and me. This force is so great that we never completely reap the harvest of our destructive thoughts and our destructive actions. Because of grace, we always reap more than we ever sow. You know, just even if we eat horribly, if we don't exercise, grace tilts us toward health anyway. Even though we may think and speak badly of other people and spew forth sometimes negative words, negative energy, grace prevents us from experiencing the full effect of the energy that we sow. Grace is that force in the universe that is always working to bring out in each of us the realization of our oneness with God and all the benefits of that realization. Grace is always present. It's constantly operating. We can't earn it. We can't make it happen. Grace just is. And because it just is, it is impossible to stop it, even when we deliberately attempt to do so. Probably the best thing for us to do is to accept it, to consent to grace. It's like rowing a boat with the flow of the current of the stream. The flow aids our effort, but it's not us that creates the flow. Our job is to be an instrument of it, to behold it, to accept it, to consent to it, so that you and I may do our thing and allow it to do its thing through and as us. You know, as we close out for today, we remember that life is consciousness. We remember that. And we want to do all we can do to shape a consciousness that makes it inevitable that the will of God, the vibration of the force, the guidance of the universe comes through us. We want to make that result inevitable through our thoughts, actions, and our prayer work. You know, in the Aramaic language, there's a term for prayer that comes from the word slotha, which means to set a trap. We want our consciousness to be a trap for all the good in the universe. You know, when the master teacher was teaching about prayer, what he was really doing is saying, set a mental trap for the ideas of the Spirit. Make yourself receptive and become available for the idea, the perfect pattern that we have forgotten when we get caught up in circumstances. Jesus was saying, set a trap. All the avatars will basically say, when we engage in prayer, set a trap, become receptive, and say in substance, universe, here I am. I'm listening. I'm in expectation. And in that being available for this presence, we have set a trap for the infinite, for the universe, and the ideas that are percolating and pouring forth in this grand environment we call God to move through us. As we do, suddenly we see differently. In the midst of the circumstance, in the midst of the seeming problem, in the disease, in the seeming calamity, wherever the calamity or whatever the calamity may be, behind that we see the idea. We have set a trap in consciousness and it has caught us. When you walk in faith, when you walk in the awareness as this idea becomes more real to you, it becomes more real than the chair you're sitting on. It's more real to you than the phone, the TV or tablet or computer you're watching from or listening on. In consciousness, you want to set a trap so that you can see as God sees, that you can be in common union with this grand universe and not be hypnotized by the highly charged thought forms and common beliefs of our day that bombard us in so many different ways today. So when someone may say to you, you're going to need 5 years of therapy to deal with that, because your consciousness is clear, you can say, the truth of me is that I'm a perfect expression and all is possible in a twinkling of an eye and in the grace of the pure Spirit of God. And we can say, I affirm freedom. Someone may say, when you get a certain disease, there's a rapid deterioration and there's nothing you can do about it. And you can say, in truth, I am whole, and as a child of God, I do not inherit sickness. I affirm healing and the grace of God as my life. Someone may be saying, as we go through the challenges today, you're hard to employ, and you say, God did not make a spare part, and I'm open to the grace of God, and I affirm my place in the divine plan. So we do our work in consciousness by lowly listening, by meditating, then affirming what we are listening to so our consciousness resonates with the truth that liberates and sets us free. The Spirit of the living God, through grace, will then add the increase. That is our journey in consciousness. And so it is, and so we let it be. As we do each week, we have an affirmation for the lesson of the week. And we invite you to take this affirmation with you throughout the week, and it says as follows: I am grace in motion. The activity of God's love sustains me in all ways, at all times. Hold that in your consciousness throughout the week. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for being part of the second week of our Faith in Action series, The Universe is Calling. As we are reminded that we indeed are on a journey in consciousness, and we are aware that whatever we send out, both in word and in deed, comes back to us. And thank God for grace that protects us from reaping everything that we sow. Next Sunday, we'll have our third week of our Faith in Action program, and I will speak on the topic, Let God be God in You. And if you want to know, the color is yellow. Right now, this is an opportunity to help Spiritual Life Center continue to provide these spiritual experiences for you and all that you know. Not just our Sunday experience, but our weekly podcast, our prayer and meditation classes, as well as other transformational experiences that take place during the week. So I invite you now to support Spiritual Life Center with your donation and your gift. And as we always say, give what you can. It makes a tremendous difference and is highly appreciated. You can give by texting SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or go to our website, slcworld.org. Click the Donate tab in order to give in other ways, including by mail. Now, right now, wherever you happen to be, I invite you to join in consciousness as we affirm our offertory blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the songs of all my great grandfathers and the dreams of all my great grandfathers
I will be. I am more than I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the smiles of all the unborn children, and the dreams of a brighter day to come, and the dance of heaven with the earth. All live, all live, all live in me. And I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Through trials we face and feelings of disgrace, we won't be displaced. Our fears we embrace. You can't fall from grace in the land. The truth can be seen in the land. You cannot be heard in the land. There's more than enough in the land. Always at home, always at home, always at home. In the land of I am always at home, always at home, always at home. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more. In the land of I am land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am in the land of I am.
With that, let us go and say together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there
Spiritual Life Center, transforming lives as we love, serve, and remember who we are.
One heart,